Hello, imaginary friends, and welcome to another one of Caleb's holiday therapy sessions.
Hello, imaginary friends, and welcome to Caleb's very depressing, horrible, awful, I hope this never happens to you Christmas story.
Oh no.
We both just recorded. His idea.
We both did our own intro just for you to discover in editing.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I might use it. I think it will help me feel better. All right, his dad said. A small smile tugged at his lips. The two walked into the church lawn.
Caleb, that definitely has touched me more than pretty much any Christmas story since probably Christmas Carol.
Before you go any further, major spoilers. So if you haven't listened to The Christmas Gift yet, go back, listen to it, and then come here and listen to our discussion about it. And while I got you, make sure you like, subscribe, and make a comment.
I think everybody knows that any time that is a time for celebration is also a time for disappointment. Like, that's the human expectation, right? Is that, oh, this moment is going to be incredible, right? And then sometimes it's not. And
yeah,
like, you know, if you've gotten married, it's like there's always a moment where that is incredible, and then there's always a moment that's disappointing, right? In some way. And that goes for both sides of the marriage, right? But the same thing is for kids, and I think some kids definitely experience it a lot more often than others. And I'm so glad that you're saying it out loud.
Oh, thanks.
I really am. Like, I didn't think I was going to be happy about that, but I am happy about it because I'm sad about it. Thank you for making me sad happy. Or sappy.
You're welcome.
Actually, it's the opposite of sappy.
Oh.
No, I was just combining sad and happy.
Sad and happy. You're saying that my story is happy now.
Thank you for making me had.
I'm happy mad.
Yeah.
Happy mad. That's great.
You ever seen High Noon? Like this old Western?
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's that director and writer, like, that's their thing. Is this person who works really hard to make life better for others. And it's not appreciated or even understood, but they keep trying, even though it sucks. And like, it's weird to relate your Christmas story to a Western, but
I love
that's
it.
kind of the way it felt, you know? Like,
great.
everything sucks, but he's just gonna, well, not everything. Like, he has, and just like in these Westerns I'm talking about, like, there's usually somebody who supports him and somebody who loves him, you know? But it's like, he keeps going, and you want him to win so badly. And then if he doesn't, you have to be satisfied with what is kind of real in the moment.
Yeah, there's something about it, too, that very much put me in mind when I read it, of The Gift of the Magi. That desire for the magical, perfect Christmas gift, and the disappointment and tragedy that can come with with not being able to supply that desire for someone that you care deeply about. And again, I feel like there's something very, very universal about that. Whether you've actually, like, experienced the disappointment yourself or seen it in someone else, or just had the fear of someone experiencing that disappointment, I think it's something everyone can relate to. Except maybe a few multi-billionaires, but, you know.
Yeah. Even then,
they're not watching our YouTube channel anyway, so. Yeah.
They're probably disappointed too. They're like, there was that one thing I wanted to buy that I can't get because somebody else owns it.
Rosebud. That's right.
You know?
No, what I would say is, like, the more money you have, the less you're feeling complete with material things.
Yeah.
It's more like you're lacking emotional connection and, like, people. Whereas people who don't have things connect more on a personal, emotional level with other people, but then they just don't have the materials, sometimes even food, you know, things that you actually need to survive. They thrive on emotional connections and, like, physical and whatever else that you can get from a person, another human being. And then rich people have all the material things, but then no connection to human beings anymore. So so they're definitely lacking. They want the hug from the child that they don't even know, So yeah, I would say that in this season, and one of the things that I wanted to highlight is that like in this season it was there are definitely people that are missing out on things, and what you think is going to be the best gift is not necessarily the best gift. The best gift, for little Justin just wanted his family to be around, and his wish was like already granted, or he got what he wanted right in the morning before he was opening the gifts. He saw his dad was there and he was really excited. And when it comes out that Andrew stole a purse accidentally, he's like, oh, my brother's going to jail. All I wanted was everybody to be here, and now Andrew's going to jail, So, is he got what he wanted before he opened the gifts. And I thought that was like a really fun way to show, like, not everything needs to be a physical gift or something that you hand to somebody. It could just literally you just being there.
Yeah.
Because I had Christmases where we didn't get gifts, like me and my many siblings, and it was great just being with them and like hanging out with them because they weren't always there all the time.
I'm thinking about like the place I taught as of a couple of years ago. There were too many kids who never get that bit, They might even get presents once in a while, but they're not getting that personal connection that they really, really want. For some of them, they don't get either one. So good story.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Now that I brought everybody down. But I feel like the ending is like a hopeful.
Right.
There's hope in there because there's always hope.
Well, I think that there's hope, but there's also lots of... You left a lot emotionally up in the air, which I actually thought really worked for the story, such as like his relationship with the girl he stole from. You might repair the relationship. She might never speak to you again. You don't know.
Right.
And you're left with that. There's so many times where that's the reality of someone when they deal with things where they don't know if a relationship's going to repair, if you're going to get that back.
Yeah.
And something about leaving us in that was really powerful. That was really impacting. But yeah, even like he hasn't made it home yet. We don't know what he's got to fix things with Justin somehow, right? And we don't know what that looks like. How long that's going to take. His mom's probably going to have something to say about it. He's got all these relationships that he's broken trust with that he needs to rebuild, and we see him starting to take that step. But it's like, when you break trust, it's like a big deal.
Yeah.
And there isn't any certainty of how relationships are going to be impacted or if you'll be able to repair those relationships. And I felt like you captured that well by not resolving that within the story.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because even had you resolved it by saying, well, they never were good friends again, and he had to do all this stuff for his parents, and this is how it was. Even if you'd resolved it partially positively, partially negatively, it doesn't have the same impact as Timothy's bringing up as just not resolving it. Because you have to question. You have to have that as a reader. You even have to have that moment of like that we've all had of I'm in trouble, and then mom and dad say like we're going to bed. We'll talk about it tomorrow, and then you have to just live with it.
Yeah.
It's
all night long.
Yes, it's just that living with it.
And it kind of reminds me... Have you ever read the short story, The Lady or the Tiger?
No.
I forget who wrote it. But the premise is there's this king who basically solves all, like, major criminal court issues by throwing someone in an arena, and there are two doors. If they open one, a tiger comes out and kills them because clearly they're guilty. If they open up the other one... There's a lady, and they're pardoned, obviously innocent, and their prize is they get wed to this lady.
You die or you get married.
It's like back in like
hey.
like Roman era type stuff.
I just feel bad for the lady.
And so like the main setup is this guy's fallen in love with the princess, and it's the first time this has kind of ever happened, and so he gets put on trial,
ever fallen in
and
love
it's
with a
supposed to be this big sensational thing.
Yeah.
And so they search the kingdom for the fiercest tiger and for the prettiest maiden and all of that because, it's kind of a big deal. And the princess, at the sum of a small fortune, discovers which door is which. Because no one's supposed to know. It's supposed to be completely fate that decides whether you're innocent or not. And so when he gets led out into the arena, he looks at her and she gestures which door to open. And he goes and he reaches for it. The author then basically says, I'll leave it to you to decide which came out, the lady or the tiger. And he kind of he builds kind of an emotional argument for why she would choose each one, but he doesn't resolve.
So it's not, even for us, it's not like, well, she probably did this. Okay.
So he gives you like a reason why she would choose each one, but then he doesn't tell you which one it actually is, and you kind of have to like churn within yourself of like, oh, which one was it? And I feel like by not telling us what happens with the relationships down the road, you're kind of left with that churning feeling of the uncertainty of like, how does this end? I have to kind of
use your own brain.
Yeah, use my own brain, but also like my own emotions and feelings to like navigate to a conclusion. Yeah, so well done. I thought that was really well done.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Those are some of my favorite stories, the stories that stick with you after the fact for, hopefully a lot of reasons. I hope that it made, people think. I hope it made, stuck with people so they're like, oh my gosh, like what happens after this story? I love those. And it doesn't need a sequel. Not every story needs a sequel. Even, Hollywood thinks so.
Only the successful ones.
But yeah, I think that this one ended really well. And it's funny because the last 2 or 3 stories that I've written, some of which you guys haven't even read, they end with that, like, well, what's going to happen? I love those endings, and I hope that thank you. I appreciate you, like confirming that it worked in this one. So that's really good.
Just to tack on one other little thing.
Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
The walking away with his dad not walking away, but walking towards the graffitied area. To me, what really spoke there is that we know that through relationship, there is often a way through, and his dad offering that is what for me helps me get over the hump of, but it's gonna kill me not to know, like, because I am one of those people that like I want to know how it resolves, and sometimes like a couple of times I've even written resolutions to stories that I've read that don't have them, just for my own sake,
right.
And so, but in this case, it's like I don't need to do that because. Not only because it's a real story, but also because his dad is saying, yes, you did wrong, and yes, there are consequences, but we will face them together. To me, that's like all it takes. Like, if I'm in trouble, if my kid's in trouble, the first thing for me always is like, together. You could make mistakes. Everybody does, but you don't stop being yourself. You don't stop trying, even if nobody appreciates it or understands. You don't stop trying. And that was always his goal. He was trying to do something good for somebody. He just made a mistake.
Right.
He didn't even have a bad heart about it, Yes, he stole.
It wasn't malicious. It was he's very much thinking of his little brother.
Exactly. Love that guy. He's a good guy.
But there is always a way through. There is always hope. And there are going to be people out there that will help you.
Even if you don't know them yet.
And if not, it's going to... You're right, exactly. You got to find those. Yeah. Find those people. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I really hope that you enjoyed the discussion as well as the story. If you think that we missed anything story-wise or symbolic-wise or whatever, leave it in a comment. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And make sure you go back and listen to any of the other stories that we have. We have a bunch of really good ones. The Lays of Never Always is awesome. Unlocked is great. Sticks and Stones, please go check them out. And yeah, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Hi. If you want to watch something, watch this, or maybe it's over here. I don't know where it's going to be, but it's going to be somewhere.